Episode number 2, right? Brilliant Conversations with Bianca. Take 2. So today I want to talk about our non-negotiables, right? So many of us don't have non-negotiables, and that's just because we're all new entrepreneurs, right? We didn't know that we needed these processes and systems and non-negotiables and ideal client and apps. We didn't know any of that when we got started. We were just happy that we had enough courage to quit our job or work this business while we were working our job and really just put out our gifts, strengths, and talents and ask to be paid for that. So we didn't think about all of that when we started. And so we were willing to take difficult clients that we know we shouldn't have took and we should have given them their money back, but we've already spent the money already. So now we got to deal with the client. No, it's a lot of things that occur in the beginning that if you don't put a stop to it, it will be a never ending cycle. And so me being in business for 10 years, like I've developed these non-negotiables and I'm very strict on my no. Like my favorite word is no. I'm very strict on my no's. And so I want to kind of give you my non-negotiables in business. And after you listen to this, make sure that you like it, you comment, and you share it with a couple of people. I would really appreciate that. I want you to let me know what are your non-negotiables, right? So I have my notes. So one of my non-negotiables is my reputation. My reputation means more to me than anything, right? It takes so many years to build a good reputation, but it takes one thing, like one small thing, right, to ruin the reputation, right? And so my reputation means everything to me. And so before I take a client that doesn't agree with my processes and systems and value, I have no problem with terminating the contract and giving you your money back, right? You are a good person, but you're not a good fit. I like you personally, but business wise, we can't do anything, right? And so my reputation, I would rather terminate a contract or lose money on that contract than to jeopardize my reputation. And so my non-negotiables is if I feel like my reputation will be impacted by you not doing the work, by you not adhering to the contract and the processes and procedures that I put into place, then it's a no. Because for me, I'm project based. So what we say in this project and the time frame that we allocate to this project is what's going to be done. Maybe we have a 6-week project and I've been available, showing up to do the work, and you don't get serious until week 5. Well, I've been here. You've paid for these 6 weeks. So now that it's week 5 and you want to do some work, week 6, it's over, right? So outside looking in, it'll look like, okay, Bianca didn't do her job. You know, I paid her all this money and she didn't do anything, when truth be told, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. So to avoid all that, I know in the beginning who's going to do the work, who's not going to do the work. I'm not waiting to week 6 to figure that out. I will terminate a contract while we're in the middle of the contract, just so I can keep my reputation. And so you won't feel like, dang, like I'm ready to work and she's not ready. No, I've been here ready to work. You was not ready. We agreed to this time frame, right? So I'm very clear about my reputation. So that's one of my non-negotiables. Time management. I am a stickler for time. Like people being late on my time, it will not work, right? It's a pet peeve of mine. Like time management is one of my biggest things, right? So if you can't respect my time, then that's a client or a person that I'm not willing to associate myself with. Like that stuff starts to trickle down into your business and how you operate, and just in your personal life in general. Like if they're always late, you like, well, I ain't gonna show up on time. Like they're late, so I'm gonna be late too. And so now you start to develop these late patterns, right? Where now you're the person that's late now, right? When that really wasn't you from the beginning. And so I am very clear on, I want to start how I want to end. And me being on time and me having excellent time management is the reason why I'm able to, manage a team, manage my clients, work only 4 hours really a day and be able to make multiple 7 figures and do what it is that I do because I'm excellent in time management. My time means everything to me. So if you are the one that is trying to disrespect my time because you don't value your time, it's a problem for me. And so that's one of my non-negotiables. Like, it's okay for you. That's just not okay for me. And I'm okay with saying that. Like, it's just not okay for me, but you be great over there. And I think that you're great. You just can't come over here and disrupt what I have going on. So number 2 is time management. 3 is communication. I don't care if you sick, you in the hospital, whatever the case might be. We're going to have our phone. Like, we're going to have it. The worst day of your life, you're going to have your phone, right? So it takes literally 2 seconds to communicate, hey, what we said ain't gonna happen. Or hey, something came up, let me not do that, right? Like it takes literally 2 minutes or 2 seconds, to be able to communicate that things have changed. And I understand emergencies happen, so I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the repeat offenders where communication is always a problem, where the ball is always dropping. And so that means that's just who they are. Like that's just a character trait that they have poor communication. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's one of your non-negotiables, then that is something that is wrong, right, for you. So that's something that you don't have to take. And so poor communication, because I overly communicate, I'm going to communicate with you verbally, visually, like audio. Like I'm going to give you all levels of communication so that you can say. So you can't say, I know, like she didn't say that. I did. I make sure I cover all my bases to make sure that I'm covered, right? To make sure that I'm giving you every avenue that you need to win. So if you just screw all my communication, that's a non-negotiable for me. And also respect. Like all of these things boil down to respect. I respect you and I come in respectful and I'm overly respectful, but I am a Libra. So I come in respectful, but how I leave out totally depends on you. And so therefore, I know that about me and I'm very honest and transparent about that. So I make sure that I don't put myself in situations where I can't leave out how I came, right? So when you're disrespecting my time, my resources, what I put into place, I gracefully bow out because I know me. So I don't put myself in situations where it would be an issue where you would be able to disrespect what I have built. People will treat you in your business how you allow them to treat you. And so I'm not nice, but I'm fair, right? I'm not, beating around a bush. I'm very direct, right? But I'm also not mean, right? I'm fair. Like I said what I said, and this is how I wanted to go, and this is what we agreed upon, and this is what you said that you wanted. And so I'm giving you what you asked for. But I'm also willing to extend grace when communication is given. If you don't communicate with me and you don't tell me anything, how are you expecting me to extend grace? It's also those that are grace hoarders, right? They will ride that wave of always wanting you to extend them grace, right? I already extend you some grace already. Like, how many more extensions of grace do I have to give? Like, and so what I don't want you to do, if it's a reasonable accommodation with the client or even somebody in your personal life, if it's a reasonable accommodation that is reasonable for you, right? For you, then I'm willing to do it. But if it's not a reasonable accommodation and I'm always the one that has to do the accommodating, then it's a no for me. And I'm totally unapologetic about that. And so I want you to figure out what are your non-negotiables, because I know, that's one of my non-negotiables. Let me reposition that, right? I see where that's going. Let me reposition that. And so your non-negotiables protect you, right? We're so busy jumping through hoops to try to protect other people, but your non-negotiables protect you. And so it's okay. Reintroduce yourself. It could be the 1st of the month, the 12th of the month, 31st of the month, the 23rd of the month. You can reintroduce yourself in your non-negotiables anytime you get ready. Hey, that used to work for me yesterday, but that doesn't work for me today. And that's okay. But I think it takes confidence, right? And for you to really know yourself to position it that way. And so I really want you to think about, like, what are your non-negotiables? And they change, right? As something happened, you be like, I don't like the way that made me feel. Like, I didn't like that interaction. To avoid all that, let me just make this one of my processes and make this one of my non-negotiables. And so that's okay, right? We're always changing, right? And I want you to embrace the change because it's so uncomfortable, right? It's so uncomfortable to tell somebody that you have let, walk over you or go against what your non-negotiables are, to come to them and say, hey, I know you've been doing this to me, but I don't like it. And so as of today, if you can't do blah, 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 I think that this relationship is going to have to come to an end, and that's okay. So I want you to be comfortable with having those uncomfortable conversations. So I hope that you like this video, comment it, like, share, tell your friends to follow me, and I will be back here with another brilliant conversation with Bianca. Bye.